Hey guys, I've tried a few times to make this video and it just hasn't come together, but there's been a lot going on, so it's been a heck of a time, and that's why I haven't made videos actually, because it was just I had to process quite a bit of what went on. I lost my beautiful little Serafina cat, which was really, really hard on me. We'd travelled together for 14 years. She was like my best friend. And for a while, I just couldn't make this video without bawling my eyes out. Yeah, I left it. But yeah, what happened was she had a blood test. It was wonderful. Well, not wonderful, but it was pretty darn good. So her hypothyroidism was well under control. So we headed off up to Prairie to Lance Cries to try and get this noise in my clutch sorted out, and trundled off up there. And yeah, the clutch, that was a funny one. They pulled it all to bits, and all they could figure out was that the clutch fork was somehow causing that noise. It was bouncing around in there. So they put it back together, but then the pilot bearing had fallen out when they put it together and things weren't working, so they pulled it back out again. Once that had happened, they didn't charge me to pull it out again, obviously, because it was an error. And then it got late. Fiends have been just really struggling with the heat in here, and I'd had the fan on her and trying to keep her cool, and I thought it was just the heat. So that night I let her out for a little while. I went out with her and she was pretty quiet. She just sort of sat there and looked around, sniffed a couple of things, and yeah, we went back in. She hadn't been eating very well, which had concerned me, so went back in, went to bed, and at 2 o'clock in the morning I woke up and I just had this urge to check on her, and she was down here. And she was sitting on the couch, and she was just sitting there with her mouth open, and her sides were going in and out, and she was trying to breathe and was struggling a bit with that. And so I made a little bit of steam to try and ease that. And as soon as it was daylight, basically, or the vet opened, I rang her vet, and as soon as Lance and them arrived, I told them the story, and they put the gearbox back in. He wasn't very happy with it. He said the clutch fork is actually, you can't adjust the clutch where it's meant to be, because the clutch fork has a curve in it, a bend in it. He reckons somebody had bodged it at some point for whatever reason, and he wasn't happy putting it back together like that. He really wanted to have it fixed properly, but he also understood that I needed to go and get Pussycat sorted out. So I raced down to Terrell. I'd rung the vet. I rang them from Matamata, that I was on, nearly there, and I had two vets waiting for me. We went straight to a room, got her on some oxygen. Yeah, and she perked up a bit with the oxygen, felt a bit better, because her oxygen levels were very, very low. Poor little mite. It was awful. It was a heck of a day. And then they said they wanted to take some x-rays of her chest, and I left the room briefly while they did that, because of x-rays and so forth. And then I came back in, and she looked at me and she meowed as if to say, "Why did you leave me?" Oh, it was so hard. And they said, yeah, basically her whole chest cavity was full of fluid, not inside the lungs, outside the lungs, but she had about 10% capacity to breathe, which is not a lot. They didn't know what had caused it. They would have to do tests and so forth to figure that out, but they said whatever caused it, it'll, we can pull the fluid out, but most likely it will come back. So it would have meant ongoing big needles in her chest to pull out fluid and all sorts of dramas, and most cats don't come back from that particularly well. She was 14 years old, and she was quite thin because of hypothyroidism, and the medicines made her feel nauseous, so she didn't eat particularly well. I'd spent the last year trying to coax food in her. I had a ridiculous quantity of different foods in the cupboard because I had to keep rotating them to tempt her to eat them, because as soon as she felt nauseous, she'd go off that food and that was it, not eating that anymore. And, oh, yeah, and I just looked at her, and it was hard because I didn't have much time to make a decision there, It was all a bit rushed, so I thought, usually she screamed her head off the minute we pulled up outside the vet. So ongoing procedures and fluid and lungs and dramas and hospitalizations and all of that, which would have been in her future. I thought, I can't do it. And I said to Morgan, what do you recommend? And she said, euthanasia, really. They don't often come back well from when it's this bad, So I made that tough decision and went, okay, and I'm still going to cry. It was over a month ago. Well over a month ago, might be 6 weeks, 2 months, I don't know now. They let me have some time with her. I kept giving her oxygen so she felt okay, and they were lovely. They came back in and just kept things very calm and quiet, and shaved her little leg for the injection. She actually didn't even struggle with that. That's how sick she was. She hated the clippers. When they used to do her blood test, she would fight them to the death. She wasn't fighting. She just lay there. And I just stroked her and kept giving her the oxygen right till the end. I said to them, can I keep giving her that? I don't want her to be struggling for breath while she passes. So we did that, and then I went back to the park up at AJ's. I'd rung Alan, and Serafina's buried in the bush there. I went back a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and spent a weekend there. I felt I needed to go back and say a final goodbye, because that place is sold, so I won't be able to just rock up there and visit her grave. But it was an incredibly hard time. There was a lot going on, and I haven't been back to do whatever to the clutch yet. But anyway, so I went back there, and then I just sat next to the grave, and thought, no, I need to get out of here. I need to go to the beach or something, and visited some friends and stuff, and stayed there for a bit, which was nice, and met a little fairy creature there, a kitten. Their cat had kittens, and one of them, the little girl, and we kind of connected. I wasn't planning on a new kitten. I was kind of quite gutted, but in the end, I did take her with me, and she's the complete opposite of Fiends of Serafina, which is good, because it's a few things she does where I go, is Fiends here in spirit giving you tips, some of the naughtier things, exactly what Fiends used to do. And I'm like, I'm sure she's hanging around and giving little Zoe, as my new kitten, giving her little tips on naughty things to do, because it's only the naughty things, which is quite funny. But she certainly hasn't replaced Fiends. It's like a new relationship with Zoe. We're getting to know each other. But she's sweet, and she's quite different. Like Fiends was the one who'd take on the world and fight to the death. That was her thing. Whereas Zoe's more of a run away and hide kind of personality. Apart from sheep, yesterday a sheep came close to the truck and she ran over and stalked it. So she might end up territorial over the truck yet. Especially if she's worried about sheep coming near her truck. She's claimed it. She's decided it's hers. But I still think about Fiends a lot. She was my best buddy for a long, long time, for a very long time, and I do still miss her, even though I've got Zoe. They're different, you know. They're not the same cat. They're different cats, and I love Zoe for who she is, and she is very different. But she's had a good start. Like Serafina had a rough start in life already. When I got her, she was very, very tiny, and couldn't eat and had diarrhea. And so I took her to the vet, and he said, look, she's only 4 weeks old. The people I got her off, they'd been told, it's not their fault because it was, passed on. But they'd been told the kittens were 8 weeks old. No, she was only 4 weeks old. So we had a bit of a battle getting her tummy right and getting through the diarrhea and and all of that. And she tried so hard. She was so brave. She was like this big, trying to get into the dirt box before her diarrhea happened. And she tried, really, really tried. But it was like nursing her into health again, which actually only took a couple of weeks once I had it figured out. And after that, she had to have an operation at 8 weeks old because she ate an earplug and it blocked up her tummy. So, yeah, that was Serafina's start in life. It was actually quite hard going, and she did the fairs with me, which I think contributed to her aggression towards strangers, was that she just used to get inundated with children and people every weekend. They'd just rush up to her when she was a kitten, and that's quite scary when you're only this big. So yeah, she had a hard start, and she became this fierce, loyal, incredible cat. I remember having a chill in my face once from really cold wind, and the nerve in here kind of jammed up. So the side of my face wouldn't move, and it was numb. It only lasted a few days, a week or something. Didn't last long, but it was like Bell's palsy, but I think it was due to the cold. But I remember I was trying to work and Fiends was wrapped around my neck. She didn't want anybody near me. She was like trying to protect me. It was pretty intense, but that's the kind of cat she was, And she's been amazing. She's been an amazing friend. She's travelled around New Zealand so much. Seen so many places, more than a lot of people have, so I celebrate her life. I miss her, I love her, but being spiritual, that's what I do. I've also felt her around me a lot, not so much now, but at first a lot. It's a lot less now, which is good. I mean, she's moved on into the spirit realm, and she's free and doing what she wants to do. But I've definitely felt her, and I know that all those vet things, all those hospitalizations and treatments and fluids, and it would have just been so hard on her. So yeah, it was a horrible decision. I hated making that decision. And of course, I went through the whole, did I make the right decision? Should I have done the whole hospitalisation treatments? And, you question yourself afterwards. But at the time, I just felt it was the best decision for her because she hadn't been well. It'd been quite a struggle to try and, I used to pat her and I could feel every bone in her spine. You couldn't see it, luckily, because of her fur, but, she was thin. And I thought, no, I can't keep dragging her through hell to satisfy my need for her. So, yeah. But anyway, stop bawling. I also moved from AJ's. I'm at a property north of Cambridge now. Lovely people. Yeah, it's a nice little park up. It's in the country. I'm there, and I'm still kind of settling in. I think I was at AJ's for a long time, and I think I'll go back there once more before it's completely taken over by the new owners just to enjoy that lake. There won't be any drone footage. I've got to send that in. I'm actually a bit annoyed about that because it was a replacement drone. I paid like over $300 for that DJI warranty to get a replacement after that other one crashed. And now, only a few months later, the gimbal doesn't work anymore. That's got the camera on it. It just... and it needs replacing, but there's no warranty on the replacement drone. So I have to send it in to Ferntech and get them to sort it out for me and fix it at some point. I just haven't felt the urge to do that. I haven't really missed it, and I think partly that's because drone flying was something I did so much of with fiends, you know. It was our thing, and so I haven't really felt like doing it anyway very much. But yeah, I'll get that sorted at some point. And yeah. So I don't know if Zoe likes a drone or not. Who knows? She'll probably pounce on it and try and kill it. Actually, she's in that. She's 12 weeks old and she's in that trying to kill and bite everything at the moment. She was chewing on the corner of my fridge and left dents all in that laminate I put on it the other day. Yeah, she's in that delightful kittenish, hilarious stage. So yeah, but she's cool. She's awesome. Yeah, like I said, it's like a new relationship. We're learning about each other and I'm learning about her. She's definitely bonded though, because yeah, she wants to know where I am. And yeah, so that's good. And actually the other night she freaking disappeared. I think she got a fright. We were outside and I looked away and clipped up that side table I have with the chains, and I think that noise freaked her out and she bolted, but I thought she was still under the truck. And she didn't come back, and I searched till midnight and thought, well, all I can do now is sit and wait and maybe have a look in daylight again. And at 5 o'clock in the morning I got woken up by her crunching her food. So I was very relieved, and she's actually, yeah. Since then, I've actually made sure she's got lots of her scent out there, because I don't think she went far away. I think she would have been in the shed or under the house. She wouldn't have gone far, but she was just scared and hiding, and kittens do that, and then they won't meow or anything. So yeah, I'm keeping a closer eye on her for now while she's figuring it out. She's awfully small, but yeah, she came back, so that was good. She obviously figured out where the truck was and how to get back and wanted to come back, and she hasn't gone very far since then, I've noticed. For the day after, she actually didn't want to go outside at all. She just wanted to stay in here, so it gave her a fright too. But it's a pretty safe place. There was really nothing too terrible that could happen to her here, and I knew she was hiding somewhere. But yeah, so that was our first adventure together. It was like, oh God, I was lying in bed that night going, no, come back, Zoe, not more cat fiascos, please, right now. So anyway, yeah, I'll show you a little bit of footage in this video of her. I haven't got much yet. And I'll put some of Serafina's on too. So this video, sorry folks, it's not much about trucks. It's mostly about my feline friends. I'll show you a little bit about this place and where I'm parked. I'm not putting the address on YouTube for obvious reasons. But yeah, so anyway, that's what's been going on, and that's why I've been quite absent. I actually recorded this video twice before now and just couldn't do it. I made them, but I couldn't edit it and I couldn't get it together. So sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, it's just a quick update, and I want to send you lots of love. And yeah, I'm back, and yeah, I'll start making more videos again now. I'm starting to feel like life is getting back on an even keel, let's put it that way. Yeah, no, for some people who go, oh, it's just a cat, that's fine, that's your opinion. For me, my Just a Cat was like my best friend who'd been everywhere with me, you know. In the 14 years together, the only time we were ever apart was when she was at the vet's. The rest of the time, her and I were in this truck together. Yeah. And she was a cat dog. She wanted to go everywhere with me. She wanted to follow me. She wanted to be a part of everything I did, apart from power tools. Didn't like those, but yeah, she was special to me. So yeah. But yeah. So it's been quite a time. Anyway, I want to send you love and see you all next time with whatever I make a video about next. I've actually got to add another solar panel to my truck before winter. So, yeah, I'll be doing a video about that. It's too hot still on the roof. I don't want to be up there at the moment. It's just there. And I don't need it just yet, so I'll order it in as it cools down a little bit and gets more comfortable up there. And I tell you what, I put a solar panel on midsummer last year, in January, I think, and I literally burnt my knees. I had tights on, but I was kneeling on the roof, and all my knees were burnt from the heat of the roof. They were blistered, and they just looked. Yeah, so I'm a little bit wary of the roof at the moment in summer. So, yeah, I will do it. And I've got to paint the truck too, because I did a whole lot of touch-ups on the side, and it's got lots of primer on it now, so it looks like crap. So I'll have to buy some paint. That'll probably happen before the solar panel, actually. Yeah, so anyway, and I want to go for a trip sometime. I don't know. I don't know yet where, but yeah, I feel like I'd like to. So anyway, I'll see you next time.
Scuff these Jordans, you can say you hate me, you can call me crazy, but don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. With the matte black finish, and it matched my shawty with the big